Wearing nothing but underwear, this man's body can withstand prolonged exposure to sub-freezing temperatures with ease, seemingly to defy the very limits of human physiology. Welcome back to Mad Cat Mysteries, where we explore all things strange, deranged, and unexplained. Today we're diving deep into the chilling world of Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman, and the incredible mysteries surrounding his seemingly superhuman ability to conquer the elements, and even certain involuntary functions within the human body. Officially, the 66-year-old Dutchman holds 18 Guinness World Records, mostly relating to his unique ability to thrive under extreme conditions with no ill effect. While he claims to have broken 26 world records, many of those were from either breaking his own previous records or were from events that could not be officially verified by Guinness World Records. Some of his most memorable achievements include the fastest half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefoot wearing only shorts, the longest swim under ice with a single breath, hanging on one finger at an altitude of 200 meters, climbing the highest mountains in the world wearing only shorts, the longest duration in full body contact with ice, and completing a full ultra-marathon in the scorching heat of the Namib Desert without drinking anything at all. For reference, that's 26.2 miles or 42.2 kilometers, with daytime temperatures reaching up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit or 55 degrees Celsius. Being known more for his incredible resilience to extreme cold, he was once asked if he had ever received a cold injury. He replied, "Yes, once. I was barefoot running in Lapland. It was quite cold and I had some blood circulation problems at 18 kilometers. From the knee down, my leg felt like wood. I couldn't feel anything. The doctor told me that irreparable damage was done. He told me to come back in 4 months. I was given boxes of pills and medicine. I had to keep it dry. I did the opposite. I began to heal myself. I used no pills, only a type of grease you put on cows' udders. I used that for a month and I was healed. That was the only time I have ever received a cold injury." But this isn't just about pushing physical limits. Hof has proven his ability to consciously manipulate his core body temperature and heart rate. He also claims to be able to manipulate his own blood pressure. However, I was unable to find documentation of a scientific study to confirm that particular claim yet. In one study, he was submerged in ice while a team of medical professionals monitored his vital signs. First, he allowed his core temperature to drop to a dangerously low 88 degrees Fahrenheit or 31.1 degrees Celsius. Then he put himself into a deep meditative state. The team watched in amazement as his core body temperature gradually increased to 94 degrees Fahrenheit or 34.4 degrees Celsius. This feat is estimated to require a 300% increase to his metabolism. A 2021 study published in Frontiers in Sports and Active Living found that participants using his method saw average changes of 13 to 31 beats per minute, but some can achieve more extreme control. While many would consider him a total freak of nature, he claims merely to be tapping into a hidden potential within all of us. Hof has trained countless others in his methods, and many of them have shown remarkable improvements in their ability to tolerate cold, reduce stress, and even influence their immune systems. This begs the question, is Wim Hof a medical marvel, or has he discovered a key to unlocking latent superhuman abilities? The secret, according to Hof, lies in his self-developed Wim Hof method. His three-pillar approach combines specific breathing techniques, gradual and controlled exposure to cold, and most importantly, commitment and mindset, including focus, determination, and a belief in one's ability to control their own body. Critics initially dismissed Hof's claims as anecdotal. Admittedly, a couple of his more extreme claims still need official scientific backing. We'll touch more on that in a bit, but it's irrefutable that many of his claims have been conclusively verified. Increasingly, scientific studies are investigating the physiological changes induced by his method. Early research found that his method can indeed influence the autonomic nervous system, the part of our body that regulates involuntary functions like heart rate and body temperature. This was long thought to be beyond conscious control. Subsequent studies have also shown potential benefits in reducing inflammation and even boosting the immune response. Even so, More rigorous and long-term studies are needed to understand the mechanics of what's going on physiologically. So how exactly does this combination of breathing, cold exposure, and mindset achieve these effects? At this point, we can only speculate. It's possible there could be unique genetic factors involved, or that we could be observing a genuine rewiring of the human nervous system. Maybe he's tapping into some ancient human ability that modern life has suppressed. Or could there be other, less understood factors at play? Regardless of a full scientific explanation, the documented feats of Wim Hof and his followers are undeniably impressive. They push the boundaries of what we believe is humanly possible, hinting at a latent superhuman potential within all of us. While practices like the Wim Hof method may one day prove to be the key to understanding these abilities, it is not without risk. According to investigative journalist Scott Carney, there have been about 13 fatalities associated with the Wim Hof method. As Carney was friends with Hof, as well as being a practitioner of the Hof method itself, this was difficult for Carney to expose. The fatalities were linked to a combination of factors. Hof's method involves hyperventilation prior to holding one's breath for as long as possible. This can result in hypoxia. If this happens while holding one's breath underwater, loss of consciousness can obviously result in drowning to death. It's possible, but unconfirmed, that extremely low temperatures may also have played a role in some of the fatalities, especially as hyperventilation can potentially lower core body temperature. While Carney raises awareness about the dangers, he loves and continues to practice Hof's method. Carney further elaborates in a video linked in the description. As a side note, here are a few other interesting things I found out about Mr. Hof. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, and there are a few things I chose not to include for the sake of decency. Hof can speak 10 languages, can hold his breath for 10 minutes, is advanced in yoga and kung fu, told Joe Rogan that he's willing to be injected with malaria for science, and has an identical twin who reportedly can't do any of the seemingly superhuman things that Wim can. To be sure, he's certainly eccentric but not invincible. In a stunt worthy of earning a Darwin Award, you see that scar on his stomach? Yeah, that was the result of using a high-power water jet of a public water fountain as an enema, like you do. I almost didn't include that one because, anyway. In addition to his previously mentioned, yet-to-be-confirmed claims, he says he can expand his mind solely by triggering his pineal gland to release a flood of naturally occurring DMT. He also claims to have eaten only one meal a day for the last 38 years, but his most outlandish claim, in my opinion, is that he can breathe out of his butt. The story of Wim Hof is a fascinating blend of extreme athleticism, eccentricity, scientific intrigue, and a sprinkle of the seemingly impossible. Whether you see him as a groundbreaking pioneer or an extraordinary anomaly, there's no denying the captivating mystery surrounding his abilities. Now, about a decade ago, I discovered that I was actually able to do one of the things that he can do. I had long suspected that I could manipulate my heart rate to some degree using nothing more than calm, focused concentration. But testing this myself with basic, consumer-grade devices proved to be both tricky and impractical. What I needed was a way to visually observe a continuous reading of my heart rate. Fast forward to 2014, I spent a little over a week in the hospital. Hooked up to an IV and a bunch of leads, I spent almost the entire time in the hospital bed, bored out of my mind. Glancing at my vitals on the LCD monitor, it occurred to me, I can totally test that thing I've been wanting to test for such a long time. So I did. First, I watched the monitor for a while to determine my resting heart rate. Then I cleared my mind and focused on bringing my heart rate down. As I suspected, it did come down some. It wasn't immediate and it wasn't by much. I think it may have been about 3 or 4 beats per minute under my resting heart rate, but I don't recall the exact numbers. Next, I tried to increase my heart rate, and I did. It may have been by 2 or 3 beats above my resting heart rate. Again, I don't remember exact numbers. I repeated the experiment multiple times, both decreasing and increasing my heart rate. No matter how many times I repeated it, I was consistently able to influence the number in either direction. To be sure, it wasn't by much, but it was measurable and repeatable. Ever since then, I've suspected that most people could probably duplicate my results, but I don't know, so I'm proposing an experiment. The next time you find yourself in the hospital, see if you can do it, although do try not to have to go to the hospital. Now, this doesn't involve any dangerous breathing techniques or cold submersion or anything like that, just calm, focused concentration. While I suspect this should be pretty safe, make sure to get a doctor's approval before attempting it. It's always best to err on the side of caution. If you do choose to give it a try, let me know the results. So, what do you think about all this? Is Wim Hof tapping into a real superhuman potential? While I certainly don't recommend trying Wim Hof's potentially dangerous technique, let me know down in the comments if you have. And as always, if you enjoy exploring these mind-bending mysteries, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. That's all I got for this video. I hope everyone is doing well, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Hey everyone, Drew here from Mad Cat Mysteries, and I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched. If you did, you can click on the subscribe button below. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.